Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on June the 24th, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, as usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of the data was better than expected, and this is where we have seen euro and pound go up. Now, on the other side, though, we did see an interesting event yesterday. Navarro, actually from the U.S., came in and said that the China and U.S. trade deal is pretty much done and it's over. And as a result of that, we did see all our yen crosses spiked to the downside, dollar crosses spiked, the stock market spiked to the downside. But then he ended up walking back the comments and said that comments were taken out of context. So this was said in an interview that was aired on Fox News. And then President Trump also tweeted and said that China trade deal is intact right now. So as a result of that, we saw market drop and go back up. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. One would be any more comments in regards to the trade deal could pose a risk to the market. But more importantly, we have seen an increase in coronavirus cases in the US as well as from other countries in the world. But the big focus right now is on the number of cases that we are seeing out of the US. A few different states have seen an increase in the cases. And also we saw Houston, Texas, the hospitals were running out of space in terms of admitting the patients. So if this type of trend continues in terms of the increase in number of coronavirus cases, as well as the increase in number of hospitalizations, that could pose a risk to the markets, and we could see the stock markets drop. And if the stock markets drop, then we are likely to see our yen crosses and dollar crosses drop as well. So that's something to keep in mind overall. We may not see this happen right away, but this is a big risk to the market that we have to keep in mind. And if we, like I said, we'll have to pay attention to what's going on over there. All right, so in terms of the data here coming up on Wednesday, nothing critical here. We have crude oil inventories, which will have an impact on Canadian dollar. Now, in this regard here, another thing that came out was there were some rumors flying around that US is going to impose tariffs, my apologies, tariffs on Canadian aluminum. And if that happens, that is negative for Canada or Canadian dollar because it will have a negative impact on exports. As a result of that, we did see Canadian dollar take a hit. So any more comments in regards to any upcoming tariffs will be negative for Canadian dollar. All right, let's go on to our charts now. We'll start off by taking a look at our euro dollar. Yesterday, we were looking for a move up, and we have seen that. Now, with this here, we see that price is still trading in this range, and bias is bullish. I would be cautious here, though. We just need to keep in mind the number of coronavirus cases. Again, if they go up, things are going to reverse and can reverse very rapidly. So bear that in mind. But based on technicals alone here, this is looking bullish. We may get a pullback into 1.1280. And then if it holds above that, I would look for a move to the upside here. So bias is bullish, but just be cautious. And on the other hand, though, if price holds below 1.1350, we could see a move back down. So this is something else that we have to be aware of. Overall, bias is bullish with caution, though. First target, like I said here, after the pullback, so I'm looking for first target here would be 1.1350, and second target 1.1400. So bias is bullish. Pound dollar here, pound has done well as well. with the positive PMI numbers out of UK, it gave a British pound a boost. So right now we have a bullish bias. And in this case, in terms of a pullback, I would look at 1.2480 as a potential pullback level, and then looking for a further move to the upside. In terms of a target here, 1.2565 is the first target. Second target is 1.2620. Now, having said that, if price goes through 1.2480, so if it drops here, now we could see a further move to the downside. So for now, bias is bullish, but just be cautious here. Aussie dollar here, this is looking neutral. This one could move in either direction, and Aussie will be impacted by the stock market. So if stock market starts to sell off, Aussie dollar is likely to sell off as well. So with this one, my bias is neutral. I will take a look at, or I'm going to keep in mind the support resistance levels here from today. And if it drops to the downside, if it goes through the support level here, then I would be looking for a further move to the downside. But if it holds, if it goes through the resistance, then I'm looking for a bullish move. For now, though, neutral bias for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar here, this one is looking neutral as well. This is similar to our Aussie dollar. We see that there are pins on both sides of this candle here as well. So neutral bias and pretty much similar to Australian dollar. If the stock market drops here, New Zealand dollar is likely to drop as well. But I'm looking for a similar thing. Going to watch the support and the resistance from today. So 0.6430 and 0.6540. Going to keep an eye on both of these levels. If price holds below 0.6540, I'm looking for a move to the downside. But once it clears that, next target here would be 0.6580. So neutral bias for now. And again, we'll just have to keep an eye on which direction it wants to go in. Right now, it's kind of stuck in the middle. So neutral bias here for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, we did see dollar CAD go up, and Canadian dollar was pretty much one of the only currency that was negatively impacted against the US dollar in terms of the majors here. We did see that price has rejected the support level, and this was because of the rumors that came out saying that we are going to see tariffs imposed on Canada from the US. And as a result of that, Canadian dollar actually dropped. So dollar CAD has gone up. So right now here, a bias is bullish for this. So in this case, we may get a bit of a dip, but basically price has been trading in a range, and I'm looking for this one to go higher. It may come and retest the low, so watch out for that. And if it holds above 1.3490, I would be looking for a further move to the upside here. So neutral to bullish bias here for dollar CAD. Target is the top of the range here, or the immediate top here, 1.3630. All right, let's take a look at our commodities now. And this one, silver. Silver is looking bullish. We do have a bullish candle close, but just keep in mind, price is into resistance and it hasn't gone through that yet. So in this case, if it doesn't make it to the other side, we're looking for a drop again. But it is looking bullish. Once we see a break here, next target would be 18.20. And then above that, we're looking at 18.35. So bullish bias here for silver, but just be cautious of the resistance that it's into. Gold here, gold looking quite bullish here. We have seen price go through the resistance. So as such, looking for it to go higher again. So bullish bias, potential pullback into 1765. Next target is 1782. So bullish bias for gold. Oil here. Oil has had a rough day. We have seen a drop, and this is why Canadian dollar hasn't done so well. There's the oil didn't do well, and then there was news of tariffs. So all in all, not looking all that great. So bias here is bearish for oil. 38.50 is the next target. And then below that, we're looking at 37.50 for oil. So bearish bias for oil. Copper is looking neutral. We did see that it went up yesterday, but today's candle close is completely neutral. We have a doji with the pins on both sides. This is an indecision candle. So at this point, we'll have to watch and wait and see what happens. So watch out for the resistance here. Today's high, if it holds below, I would look for a drop. But same applies for the support as well. If it doesn't go through the support, this is likely to go up as well. So right now I'm looking for a neutral move. And then if price breaks through the upside, then I will look for it to go to 2.66. But if it drops through the support, then we're looking for 2.53. So for now, bias is neutral here for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is looking bearish. We have a little pin bar here, which means the price can drop back into the support level at 9,200. So for now, bias is bearish for Bitcoin. But keep in mind, right where the price is, this is our support resistance level, and price has reacted at these levels before. So if it doesn't drop through the support, it can go back up. So bearish bias here, but just be cautious of the support. S&P 500, as we can see here, this is an hourly chart. Price has been trading in this range here. So looking at the daily chart, we can see the same thing. Price has been trading in a range. Today's candle close is completely neutral here. So we have to wait and see which direction the market wants to move in. Right now, like I said, there are a lot of issues with the coronavirus, or there's a lot of new cases coming up, which cause concern. So in this case, what I'm looking for is a potential retest of the high. If it holds below, then we're likely to see a drop. And in that case, the first target is 30.80 and then 30.40. So bias right now is completely neutral for S&P 500. It can move in either direction. Nasdaq, on the other hand, has been going up. Now, the candle close for the day is neutral at this point. So with this one, I will look for a retest of the high. And if it holds below the high of 10,300, then we could see a drop. But should it go through, we are looking for a further move to the upside here. And in this case, 10,450 would be the next target. But for now, first, we need to see which direction it wants to break in. If it goes through the high, I will look for continuation. Otherwise, we are back into our support levels here. And then Dow Jones here, we can see Dow Jones is completely the same one. So this is neutral as well. Same thing as S&P 500. What I'm looking for here would be a retest of the high, and if it holds below, back into the support level of 25,400. So neutral bias for Dow Jones as well. DAX here, DAX hasn't really done, well, actually it didn't move up, but it hasn't closed through the resistance yet. So it's still holding below the resistance, but there is bullishness in this candle. As such, what I'm looking for here is potential retest. So bias is bullish to neutral here. If it goes through the top of the range here at 12,480, then we're likely to see a further move to the upside here. So bias neutral to bullish. And in terms of target, the first target here actually will be the high of today, which is 12,600. And if price manages to get through that, we're looking at 12,750. So bias here is bullish for DAX. FTSE here, FTSE is running into some trouble here. As we can see, price is still in this range. So this is what we have. Price has been stuck in this range. It is still range bound. The market has tried several times to break through. Even with the positive PMI numbers, it hasn't been able to. So in this case, we may see price drop if it doesn't manage to get through. So bias here is neutral for now. I will look for a retest of this high at 63.35, and if it goes through, then we're looking for a further move to the upside. But until then, we may see a move back here into the range. So keep an eye on that. We may see something like this. So neutral bias for FTSE. And then of course we have Nikkei. Nikkei also looking neutral here. We see price went into the resistance and it hasn't been able to make it to the other side. And now we have price a sideways move here. So in this case, that's the type of move I would look for. If it doesn't make it through, we are likely to see it drop back down. But once it makes it through, in terms of our targets, we're looking at 23,000 as the target. All right, so that's it for now. So neutral bias here. If it doesn't go through, I'm looking for a drop. Should it go through here, I am looking at next target of 23,000 and then 23,200. All right, so that's it for now. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening and a trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.